Hey guys, it's Nick, and this is Mainly Watches. We have a full episode today. Did you like my screen caption at the beginning? That's the theme for today. It's been 3 months since I released my very first YouTube video, and that was a watch strap showdown on sailcloth watch straps. And thank you to everybody who watched the video and commented. It was actually very well received. But I wanted to do a follow-up on that watch strap video. And keeping with that theme of my opening credit today, focus today is going to be high-end hybrid straps. And we're specifically going to be looking at straps from ARTEM and HIRSCH. These are all my own straps. They do represent a considerable investment of money. And just to address the elephant in the room here, these are not inexpensive straps. All of these straps are $100 plus. Now, when I say hybrid straps, these all have in common that they're not made out of just one material. They're a combination of materials. We have the sailcloth effect straps, and we'll also be looking at various straps from HIRSCH that are using a combination of leather and rubber. They all have in common that the core of the strap are high quality rubber. And then the outer covering is either something that looks like sailcloth or various types of leathers. They are all waterproof, and these are all very high quality straps. If you've tuned in here and you're thinking we're going to be talking about some cheaper end strap offerings like you could get from AliExpress or Amazon, this is probably not the video for you. I just want to highlight these are all my own watches, my own straps. The video is not sponsored. I'm doing this because I'm very interested in it, and I've learned a lot through trial and error and made a lot of mistakes along the way. The important thing to remember, and I can't stress this enough, I mean, fitting a watch strap to a watch, it's like buying underwear, okay? There's not one size that's going to fit everybody, and it's a very personal thing, whether it's underwear or watch straps, how things are going to fit. We all have different shaped wrists. Our wrists are all different sizes. Watches vary in their shape and configuration. So it's a very personal thing, how that watch strap is going to fit. And it can take a lot of trial and error to find a watch strap that works on your wrist and on your specific watch. So with that said, we're going to turn the camera around, and I will try to walk through this whole menagerie of offerings I have from ARTEM and HIRSCH. All right, we've got a lot to get through here, guys. Let's just start out very quickly. I'll give you a rundown of what straps we're going to be looking at here, and then we'll take an in-depth look at them one by one. Starting with this one here, this is a HIRSCH George. It's a hybrid strap. See, it is a rubber backside with an embossed leather upper. Then we have the HIRSCH Arne. This is their sailcloth effect. So you've got a sailcloth outer and a rubber core. Then we have the HIRSCH Tiger, as they call it. This is a calf leather outer with a rubber core. Again, these are all waterproof straps. And then we have finally here the HIRSCH James. This is in a brown leather outer with the same rubber core. So those are the HIRSCH straps. So, and here I have a HIRSCH James. Getting to the ARTEMs, we have the ARTEM HydroFlex. This is a 20, same as this strap here, which is a 22. Then we'll also be looking at the ARTEM HydroFlex Loopless Deployant. which I have here. This is a 22 on a Grand Seiko. And I've also got the ARTEM loopless deployant HydroFlex here on a Longines. This is also a 22. We've got another ARTEM here. This is again their loopless deployant, which we'll be looking at. And finally will be classic loopless deployant. So we'll be taking a look at this one. This is a 22. So we'll I'm going to pause the video here, sort some things out, and then we'll start looking at the straps and how they wear. I think we'll start out alphabetically, so we'll start out with ARTEM first, and then we'll work our way over to HIRSCH. All right, we're going to get into the straps from ARTEM, and these are specifically their HydroFlex series, and we'll also take a look at their classic loopless deployant, although it is not technically in the same class as the HydroFlex. First things first, though, to get this out of the way, I mean, I know these are marketed as sailcloth straps, but as you can see, they're not actual sailcloth. You have some kind of a sailcloth look on the exterior of the straps, and that is, of course, bonded and stitched into rubber. Just to clarify, sailcloth, this is actual sailcloth, okay? It's Dacron. So you can see this is not really suitable to make a watch strap. Sailcloth is characterized by very tight weave, and of course it's thin and very strong. This is recycled sailcloth. They make bags out of them here in Maine, but it gives you an example of what sailcloth actually looks like. But you can see the pattern, and I think this is why they call it a sailcloth effect. But you can see the pattern kind of looks like sailcloth, but obviously watch straps are quite a bit thicker, and you know, this would not make a very good watch strap. So I just wanted to clarify that when they talk about sailcloth watch straps, they're not actually sailcloth, okay? You're getting effectively a hybrid construction here. The original ARTEM HydroFlex. And as you can see, these straps are that sailcloth looking effect, all fully stitched, and these are very flexible. You can see how flexible it is. Very nice strap. And they have good structure. They don't particularly have any memory to them, so as you can see when I bend it, it just comes right back. But they're very comfortable, and they conform very nicely to your wrist. The hardware on these is all top quality, stainless steel, very well made, nice combination of brushing and polishing. The classic HydroFlex have two keepers. These are rubber keepers. You can see one of them is held in with little notches to keep the first one in, and the second one is floating. ARTEM does provide very good quality spring bars, in my experience. These are all fitted with quick release bars. But I would have to say the quality of these is very good. I've not had any issues with ARTEM's spring bars. Very solid. They're good spring bars. You can see how the construction here, I can get it, yeah, there we go, focus. Nice and solid. The spring bars fit really well in there. So let me show you here. This is a very heavy watch. This is a Zinn U2, and you know, it's made out of submarine steel. It's a beast of a watch, and it needs a heavy duty strap to control it. I'm going to put this on the wrist, and I'll show you how this classic HydroFlex wears. And again, this is on a real heavy watch. All right, here we are. We have the Zinn on the HydroFlex. You can see the strap fits very nicely, conforms to my wrist. No pressure points, so that's always a good thing. And especially when you have a heavy watch like this, you want to make sure that it controls that watch head so it's not flopping around. And this strap does a very good job controlling that watch head. These classic HydroFlex straps are a little on the short side, so they are probably more suited to longer lug length watches, but of course it depends on your wrist size. But absolutely very good strap on this watch. And like I said, this is a heavy watch. I'm going to use this as my model watch. The next strap I wanted to look at is the latest from ARTEM, and this is their HydroFlex loopless deployant. And as you can see, this does not have the keepers. It all tucks in. Very nice. Very neat. This is on a Ultrachron. It's, I would say, a reasonably heavy watch. It's nowhere near the weight of the Zin, but it's still pretty substantial. I think, if anything, this is the newest strap that ARTEM has come out with. They've just released these. I think, if anything, this is even more comfortable than the original HydroFlex. Somehow it feels a little more supple. I've also noticed they have made some small refinements on the clasp. The clasp seems a bit shorter when I look at their older clasp. I think they've made some refinements there. They look very, very minor refinements, but nevertheless, they have refined it. So let me put this back on and show you how this fits. Of course, the classic HydroFlex, you've got your traditional tang buckle, and the strap rolls over the side with your keepers. And again, it's nice low profile, and I have to say it wears very comfortably. All right, looking at their newest HydroFlex, this is the HydroFlex loopless deployant. You can see, as I mentioned, it is a little more flexible and softer than the classic HydroFlex. So I think maybe they have changed the compound. I cannot tell. The stitching, of course, it is still that they're beautifully made straps, absolutely. You can see the clasp, all first-rate execution here. I love how these fit, and they're it's a very nice tight clasp. No wiggle, just feels really secure. Very nicely done. Again, these are fitted with quick release spring bars, so they're very easy to remove. And yeah, I think this is a really nice evolution of the HydroFlex strap. Now, cost-wise, I mean, I just bought this one a couple weeks ago. They had them, I think they may still have them on sale, or at least they were offering an introductory price where you got the clasp for half price. But, you know, they're still coming in around $290 with that sale. I think the strap alone, they're around $240, $250, and then the clasps are $85. But if you take advantage of the sale, you can get them for around $300. Yeah, I know it's a big chunk of change, but you know, if you consider it to like OEM Omega price, it's actually a pretty good deal. And you know, if you buy a rubber strap from almost any of the OEMs, like Doxa, I mean, they charge $400 for just a simple rubber strap with a tang buckle. So, you know, while the price sounds high, the quality of these is exceptional. In terms of comfort, I mean, these are just so easy to wear and put on. You can just see how perfect that is. What I really like with these straps, you can see there is some flexibility. So as your wrist swells during the day, or as your wrist shape changes, these just kind of conform to it because they have a little bit of room here, and they just naturally conform to your wrist. So I actually find these very, very comfortable straps. You know, it's even more comfortable than the original HydroFlex with the tang buckle. I think this is a very good choice with a, you know, still with a big heavy watch, but I really like how these fit. So that is the 22 millimeter loopless HydroFlex. Now, I do have it as well here. I've got a black one. This is on a Grand Seiko. Again, this is a fairly heavy watch. This is not a lightweight watch. It's that same loopless HydroFlex. Yeah, I do believe that is the newer clasp design as well. This is the black with the white stitching. And again, you know, for a high-end premium watch, these really do suit the watches very well. And again, you can see just how comfortable this fits. Just clicks on there and controls the watch beautifully. Very comfortable. Now, my wrist size is 7.5 inches, just to mention that. So, the other nice thing with Artem is that they have quite a variety of different sizes. So they offer straps from, I believe, 18 up to 24 millimeters. But they do have some really good sizes. And they've also recently introduced straps with a better taper. These are all, I believe these are 22s that taper down to 18. Most of their straps used to just taper down to 18. They have now introduced a line that taper down to 16. This particular one is a 19 millimeter, which I've fitted on another Grand Seiko. This has always been a very tricky watch for me to find a strap for. Number one, because it is, you know, it's a Grand Seiko, so it's a fairly high-end watch. You can't get away putting a cheap strap on it. It just looks, you know, dowdy if you do that. So it needs a high-end strap. The problem I had with this Grand Seiko is that, number one, it's got that 19 millimeter lug width. So that kind of limits your options. And it's a thick watch. Despite that classic Grand Seiko shape being thick and quite a weighty watch, it's not a watch that really looked good with a thin leather strap, I found. And the Grand Seiko bracelets, while they're beautifully made, I've never found them particularly comfortable, to be honest. So this is a watch that has given me a lot of trouble. And I mean, I've got probably 10 different 19 millimeter straps I've tried on this guy to find something that really worked, that had a nice taper, because that 19 going down to 18, it just looked a little bulky. So with Artem coming out with this strap that tapers down to the 16, I think this worked absolutely brilliant with this Grand Seiko. So kudos to Artem. I think it's great that they're catering now to some different size tapers, and they have this smaller taper for those who are looking for it for a more elegant look on a smaller type dress watch. So yeah, that's kind of neat. And again, this is their newest deployant HydroFlex strap. So that's on the 19 to 16. This is the original Artem deployant. And it's now, I guess they call it their classic. It's got the leather backing on it, and of course the sailcloth. It's a much stiffer material, as you can see. If we compare it to the HydroFlex, you can see it's a stiffer material. That said, I still think this is a very good strap for heavy watches. And I'm going to show you what I mean now. I'm going to put this on the Zin, which is probably the heaviest watch in my collection, and show you why I think there is a benefit still to this more rigid style of strap that Artem has. All right, I had to cut the camera real quick while I swap the straps. So I've put the classic loopless deployant from Artem on the Zin. Oh, you can see this is, of course, it is a stiffer material, but nevertheless, it is still very comfortable. I think in some respects, this does control a heavier watch very well. This is also a good strap to look at because this is, I think it's probably my oldest ARTEM strap. This one might be two years old, maybe a little older, and you can see how it's held up. And it's actually held up really well. There is maybe a little play in the clasp. Actually, it's not bad. A little bit of play. It's not as tight as the newer ones. One thing you'll see with these deployants, and again, this is an older strap, but if we remove it, you have to be a little careful here. These can get a bit of damage on the backside if you're not careful sliding it through the pins. And here you can see there is some, well, you can see where there's a mark where it's been sitting on the clasp. And there is some little bits of leather starting to fray. But, you know, the stitching's held up well. Some of the padding has developed a bit of a washboard effect here. Not quite sure what that's all about. But yeah, you can kind of see that in the camera. But stitches have all held up well. I can't complain. Spring bars, still rock solid. I mean, it's solid. So can't complain about that. Like I said, this is, you know, this is not a new strap. This is an older strap, and it's certainly got some signs of wear, but it gives you an indication how these straps are made and how they will last. I mean, it's certainly looks good despite some of the washboard effect here. I don't think you will have that with the HydroFlex. I don't think they've got a different padding in here. It all seems solid. I think it's just the solid rubber core, so you won't have that issue. This is a 20 millimeter HydroFlex, so I'm going to go ahead and put this on the budget watch, which, I mean, this strap is worth more than the watch. I'm going to put it on this this Proxima here. This is a $200 watch, but it's a very lightweight watch. It's a thin watch. It's about 11.5 millimeters. So I'll put the lightweight watch on the HydroFlex, and you can see how it's going to wear. Here we are. I have the HydroFlex on the Proxima. This is the classic HydroFlex. You can see it's maybe a little too robust for this watch. If I rotate my wrist around, you can see it's not too tight. I mean, it's about the right setting for the strap, but I feel a bit of a pressure point right here on the side of my wrist. So that kind of tells me this is not the best strap for this watch. Now, like I said, this is a very light watch. I don't think this watch weighs more than 80 grams without the strap. But it almost feels like this HydroFlex is too much strap for this watch. Like I say, I can feel the pressure points here. This is quite a short lug width. It's only about 44, 45 mil lug length. So we do have quite a bit of the strap coming around my wrist, and I do feel some pressure points here. So would I say the HydroFlex is a suitable strap? I wouldn't wear this watch on the HydroFlex. Honestly, I think, I mean, number one, the strap is worth more than the watch, and it certainly looks good. I mean, you can't say it doesn't look good, but just in terms of wearing comfort, and I mean, it is a very nice flexible strap. The strap is almost too rigid for this lightweight, thin watch. Like I said, this is an inexpensive watch, but you know, just doing it as an example to see how it fits. Now we've tried the HydroFlex on the small lightweight watch, and you can see the result. So that's what I mean when I said that, you know, watch straps are kind of like trying on underwear. There's not any perfect one-size strap for every watch, and sometimes it is trial and error. Generally speaking, I find these ARTEM HydroFlex straps are absolutely ideal for medium to heavyweight watches where you need that control and, you know, ability to hold the body of the watch. And these new loopless HydroFlex straps are absolutely brilliant. Very, very comfortable, and I have to say, I think they're worth the money that they're asking for them. Very nice straps. So that's my review here on the ARTEM straps. Like I said, we've looked at their classic HydroFlex, and we've looked at the new HydroFlex loopless deployant, and as well we've looked at their classic deployant. So now we're going to switch gears, and we'll pull out the HIRSCH straps and have a look at the straps from HIRSCH on a selection of watches. All right, changing gears here. We're going to switch our attention to the straps from HIRSCH. As mentioned, HIRSCH is an Austrian company. I'm a huge fan of HIRSCH straps. To say I've bought more than a few of them would be an understatement. So, yeah, let's take a look. First up here, I have, this is the HIRSCH James, as they call it. Now, the James has a calf leather exterior and solid rubber core with the bonded leather stitched on. This is not a new strap. It's seen quite a bit of wear. This is a 21, so I'm not going to be swapping this one around. I don't have a lot of 21 millimeter watches. But you can see how, and I think because of the way this core is designed, and all of these HIRSCH hybrid straps have this same design. You can see how these really conform well to your wrist. So that's a really nice design feature. Very solid straps, very well made, no wiggle. I can show you, I've got one right here. I can show you how the spring bars are. This is a HIRSCH Arne. This is their sailcloth effect. You can see it's a very thin, flexible strap. If I compare this to the, let's get the ARTEM HydroFlex. This is the ARTEM HydroFlex, and here's the HIRSCH. You can see visually they pretty much look the same, but if we look at the thickness, see, they're a little different, again, because of that, the way that rubber core is cut. These are a little more flexible, the HIRSCH straps. Very similar sort of design, though. I think the ARTEM, it looks like it's a little thicker here at the lug end. Hard to tell. Maybe the HIRSCH has a little more pronounced shape. Spring bars, very similar. They're both using very high quality spring bars. I have absolutely no complaints here how the spring bars are made, and you know the construction of these straps is first rate. Now keep in mind the ARTEM HydroFlex you see here, that's a $250 strap. This HIRSCH Arne is about $150, so it's considerably cheaper priced. But again, visually very similar, very similar effect. They're both kind of an embossed synthetic. Just put that HydroFlex down. So yeah, let's put the James on, and I'll show you how this wears. Now these are waterproof, so HIRSCH treats this leather with something. I don't know how they're doing it, but you can see this strap is held up really well. There's not a lot of damage or marks to it. Nicely shaped. Again, it's trial and error. You're trying to find a strap that suits your watch and works well on your wrist. So we'll put this guy on. I'll let you see how this wears. Here you can see this watch, this strap, I should say, conforms really nicely. I don't feel any pressure points on my wrist, so it feels nice and comfortable. Very flexible. You can really see how these cutouts in the rubber core help it conform to your wrist. The other thing I like with HIRSCH are their buckle designs. I think they have one of the best buckle designs going. No sharp edges. It's just very nicely finished. And if you look, that buckle, it just conforms really well to the shape of the strap and to your wrist. So I'm a big fan of HIRSCH's buckles. I think they've got a nice thing going. They do not have, well, I shouldn't say they do not have deployant clasps. HIRSCH does have a line of deployant clasps. I don't have any. I'm not a big fan of deployant clasps because I generally find them too bulky. I have tried my fair share of deployants with leather straps, and I've always just gone back to the traditional pin buckle. The only exception to that, and I'll say this very honestly, have been these ARTEM deployants. I really love these ARTEM clasps. They're very nicely designed and very comfortable. So these are actually the only deployants that I wear and I would consider buying right now, these ARTEM ones. HIRSCH, yes, they do have different deployant clasps. They do not have a loopless design that I'm aware of. So all of their designs are going to be, having keepers. And they do, like I said, they do, I think, have two different type of deployant styles, but they've just not appealed to me. So I've not purchased one to try out. So that's the James. Here we have the HIRSCH Tiger. Now this is a pretty heavy-duty strap. It's a substantial strap. It's a perforated calf leather. You can see very flexible. Nicely made keepers, traditional HIRSCH buckle. Underside, again, is that perforated, sort of grooved rubber. Very nicely made. And again, this is my heaviest watch. So I'll put this on the wrist and I'll let you see how this HIRSCH Tiger manages to tame the big German Zinn. All right, here we have the HIRSCH Tiger on the Zinn. And I gotta say, this is really, really comfortable. No pressure points at all. The watch feels well controlled on my wrist. Maybe not as comfortable as the ARTEM HydroFlex. I think the HydroFlex had a little more control to it. But yeah, I really like how this feels. It's very comfortable. The buckle on this one, it's the HIRSCH, I think they call it the sport buckle. So you can see it's a little different design on it. It's a little bit thicker and bulkier. It's a heavier duty buckle, but very nicely done. This works very well on this watch, I have to say. It is nice if you want to dress it up a little to have that option to go with the leather. It looks very nice. Very well made. Nice keepers on here, all stitched. If we look at the spring bars, I'll just pull this off here. You can see HIRSCH's spring bars, very solid. Nice spring bars, nice construction on here. Yeah, it's a very solid strap. Again, these also are selling for about $150, I think. So most of these HIRSCH straps are coming in around $150. Now, having said that, HIRSCH does not have, it seems, as rigid control over the pricing. So you can actually find sellers on eBay who are in Europe who are selling these quite a bit cheaper than sellers here in the US. So I have purchased a couple of mine from sellers out in Europe, and You know, of course, it takes a little bit longer with the delivery time, but you can save some money. So they do seem to have a little bit more reasonable pricing out in Europe on them. But yeah, if you want to order them here, you know, Holden's carries Hirsch, all watch bands. There are quite a few retailers. And you know, like I said, they're all in that $150 price range. Excellent quality straps, and again, you can see that flexibility, just fabulous. So very nice. That's the HIRSCH Tiger. So we've looked at the James, the Tiger. We'll take a look at the Arne. This is their sailcloth strap, as I mentioned. So kind of comparable to the ARTEM HydroFlex, I would say, HydroFlex Classic. I have to say I like HIRSCH's HIRSCH's strap sizing. They do offer medium and large sizes. These are all their, I guess their larges. They're 80 millimeter and 120 millimeter. But let me put this on the wrist. Now you remember I put this is the lightweight, cheap Chinese watch, and I put this one on the HydroFlex, and it almost felt like the HydroFlex overpowered this watch. Now we'll see how this wears with the HIRSCH Arne, and you can see this is a very, very soft, supple strap. So let me put this on and show you how this looks. This is the economical watch on the HIRSCH Arne, and I have to say, wow, this is really comfy. This strap is perfect for this watch. It's got just enough give. You can see how this strap conforms to my wrist, and with this being a shorter lug watch, like I said, it's about a 44, there is more wraparound of the strap on my wrist. I do not have the pressure points here on my wrist that I had with the HydroFlex. So this is definitely a more comfortable strap here. Again, HIRSCH buckle. This is a 20 tapering to 18, but very nicely made. Comfortable strap. I would say this is a good option for a lighter weight watch, the HIRSCH Arne. I don't think it will do too well on a heavy watch, but let's try it. I've got a 22 HIRSCH Arne here, so let's put the Arne on the big Zin and see how this strap holds up with a heavy watch. Okay, here we have the HIRSCH Arne on the heavy-duty Zin U2, and actually this strap is very comfortable on here. I do have there is a bit of a pressure point here, which I can feel, but the strap feels good. Now, I've had to put this on a little tighter than I normally wear them. If I move it down one notch, you can see, well, now it's probably a little too loose. Yeah, see, this one I'm having a hard time getting the right size for this. And, you know, again, it's just a combination of my wrist size and the type of watch. I have to wear this one a little tighter than I normally would. I think, if anything, the strap might be a little bit thin for this watch. I mean, it certainly does work, but it's not a strap I would consider wearing on this watch. It's comfortable, but I think the watch is just too heavy for the strap. It overpowers it. But again, you can see this very comparable look to the ARTEM HydroFlex. Very, very flexible strap. And again, very good quality spring bars. No complaints there. But again, it's, you know, maybe this isn't the most suitable strap for a heavy watch. I would say this particular strap from HIRSCH probably better for your light to medium weight watches. The final strap here from HIRSCH, and this is their George. This is an embossed leather. It's sort of a fake alligator effect. It's not alligator, okay? This watch strap does not have the quick release spring bars, so I've got the just standard spring bars fitted. Now you'll notice if I hold this up, this is these are shoulderless spring bars. Okay, there are no shoulders on them. They're just standard pins. So you only want to use these type of spring bars on a watch that has drilled lugs. If you put these type of spring bars in a watch that does not have drilled lugs, you are going to have a bitch of a time getting it out. These are all high quality Swiss made spring bars, and you can purchase them from various online vendors, Otto Fry, Esslinger. I think Marathon Watch has also got some, these might even be some Marathon spring bars. But high quality spring bars, and they make a big difference. Here we have the HIRSCH George installed on the Zen U2. This is the embossed leather, so it's kind of that alligator effect. Structurally, the strap feels very solid on this watch. You know, the watch is well controlled, so, and it's comfortable. I don't feel any pressure points here. It's got the HIRSCH Classic buckle on this one, but yeah, feels really good. We take this strap off. I'll show you the construction here. Now, as I mentioned, this one does not have the quick release spring bars. This is a little bit stiffer. It's obviously they've got a thicker leather on here. I mean, it shapes to your wrist still very nicely, but definitely a sturdier strap. So this, you know, I would say this strap would probably be overkill on a thin, lightweight watch, but on a big, heavy watch like the Zen, and I have used this on the on my Grand Seiko too. Looks good. It's also a heavy watch and a big watch. So again, I think it's a very good choice for heavier watches. So there you have it. That was that was a lot to take in and a lot to digest. But yeah, just cutting to the chase here, guys. These are not inexpensive straps, as I mentioned. These are all high-end straps, and most of you in the market for these obviously will probably have a high-end watch. There is no one size fits all. It's, as I said, it's like buying underwear. It's kind of trial and error till you find something that fits and is comfortable on your wrist and works well with your watch. So there's not any one size solution. I will say, out of all of these straps, I think the newest ARTEM HydroFlex deployant is probably the biggest evolutionary leap. These just seem to be very forgiving straps. Depending on your wrist shape and type of watch you're wearing, I've just found these all to be supremely comfortable. So I think I would not hesitate to recommend these. Despite the cost, I think you are getting a very, very nice high-end strap with very good quality. And yeah, like I said, these seem to be the most forgiving in terms of their comfort and how they stretch. So I really do like those new these new ARTEM HydroFlex loopless deployants. For something a little more dressy, if you want something with some leather and a little more dressy effect, I think these HIRSCH Performance series straps, and these are all classified as their Performance series. These are all their hybrid straps, be it the James, the Tiger, there's another James here, the Arne Sailcloth, and the George. These are all really great straps depending on what kind of a character and look you're looking for. If you want something a little more dressy or traditional, I think HIRSCH has a really good selection there. And like I said, I think these offer very, very good value for the money. And if you want something different, different colors of leathers, HIRSCH has got a really good selection here. And, these are all they're waterproof. So yeah, I'm a big fan of HIRSCH. I've got a lot of their straps, and I've got a lot of ARTEMs too. I've been investing a lot of money in straps, I'm afraid. Again, this is all high-end straps. So, you know, if you're in the market for a $20 strap, and I've got nothing against it, I own plenty of them, believe me. But, you know, please keep the comments respectful. Don't slag people off because they're willing to spend $300 on a watch strap. People can spend a hell of a lot more than that on a watch strap. So, you know, if you have a high-end watch and you are looking for a really nice aftermarket watch strap replacement, I would not hesitate to recommend any of these HIRSCH Performance series or the ARTEM HydroFlexes. Like I said, these are all my own straps, and these are my experiences with them. So I'm not being sponsored. Nobody's paid me to do this. I'm just doing this as out of interest for fellow watch enthusiasts who want to see you know, what's out there. And like I said, we don't really have a lot of stores where you can go and try these things out. And yeah, it is kind of like buying underwear. You know, you don't know until you've put it on how well it's going to fit and how well everything's going to hold. So, you know, just keep that in mind. I hope you guys found this interesting. I'll be back next episode. We'll do another watch review. I think at some point I will do another strap review. Maybe we'll take a look at some leather straps. I do want to do a review on the MN style elastic straps. I think I've flashed quite a few Erica straps here before, but you know, there are some other ones out on the market. So till next time, stay safe out there, and thank you very much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I apologize if it was a little long. See you guys next time.